straight.
Okay.
Alright, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Aini Sofiyya and today I will be interviewing a lovely guest named Dr. Wan Adriani for my English course Advanced Communication Skills GLT 1014. Alright, so Miss Dr. Wan, thank you for being here today. I'm glad with your presence.
Okay.
I think it's been a while since we last met, right?
Yeah. Possibly how many months ago? Since you spoke
I think this year.
This year, possibly April this year.
April this year.
Yeah. So how's life so far? Okay.
Okay, so far so good.
So far so good. Still, first year still quite early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quite early into your
So yeah, I kind of miss Paso already.
Yeah. Oh really? Okay. Okay. That's nice.
So yeah, for today, I'm going to interview Dr. Wan for my topic in my research purpose, which is should gene editing be allowed or be performed on human embryos. So
okay.
Dr. Wan, as a start, can you share about what is the simple terms of gene editing?
Okay, so gene editing basically we have this. It's a kind of like basic biological concept in which we have a gene. So basically, the gene is basically it carries we have a DNA, which is basically the basics of all human kind of like genetic material, and then in the DNA itself you have many different genes, and different genes actually they encode for different proteins. And when you talk about what is happening within our body, basically the biomolecular processes and everything, how to produce ATP, how to produce energy, how to produce this, that, hormones, those are all proteins. And therefore basically the gene actually carries out a very important kind of like function in actually making sure that our body has enough proteins, because the gene actually encodes for the proteins, right? I think you know this already, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of like the basic of it.
Yeah.
So gene editing is basically, like the name itself says, is where you edit a gene to actually, instead of producing this protein, either it can actually not produce this protein or produce this protein in more different quantities. Basically, they want to edit the gene so that it doesn't. It's not like they're really mutating it. They just want to edit the gene either to actually not have the gene do anything or have the gene do something different. Basically, yeah.
So the gene
that's
editing.
the normal kind of like the layman term for it, basically. Yeah.
So if gene editing be performed on human embryos, so
Yeah.
basically we are changing the composition of the embryo before they develop into.
Yeah, I mean, because gene editing is used a lot for disease therapy. Basically, it's called when it comes to diseases, we call it gene therapy. I think you have heard of this before, like gene therapy. Gene therapy is where you have a patient, and then that patient, basically the disease is very much genetic related, basically because they have this genetic makeup, and therefore they have this disease. So if we are to actually change the genetic makeup of the person a bit, we can actually make the disease either less severe or the person can actually have more resistance to the disease. So that's what is gene therapy basically about, because gene therapy is actually now used quite widely in other countries. I know, like the US, where they have really good development within medicine, they use gene therapy. So that is for adult humans, in which there is a need for that, because obviously people are kind of like, they have diseases, you want to actually try to cure them of their diseases, right? So that is on patients, which is totally fine. There's no ethical issues concerning it, because people obviously want to actually do the best for the patients.
Yeah.
Gene editing is roughly the same as gene therapy. However, it's not exactly, they perform it on human embryos. If your topic was like they perform gene editing on human embryos, basically before anything even happens, basically you try to kind of like change the makeup of the gene itself. So I mean, I'm not sure whether people have actually done that.
It's been done.
It's been
by
done.
the Chinese scientists. The first ever experiment.
Yeah,
So
they're quite adventurous actually when it comes to those things.
it's quite controversial.
It is controversial because it's on the human embryo. I mean, let's say if the experiment went wrong, what do you say to the child then? Let's say the embryo actually goes to actually develop into the normal child. If that experiment only 20 years down the line, you know that okay, that gene editing actually produced something very wrong within this human. Ethically, how are you going to actually sit well with that? Like the scientist, how can you actually sit well with that? Like it is your doing that actually caused that thing in that human being, that adult. So I'm not sure. This is the ethics of system scientists actually.
Yeah, because when the child already grew up,
Yeah. What happened?
the child will have no one to blame.
Yeah. But then in this case, like what happened actually? Is it just done? Is it?
It is just done.
Just done. Okay.
He basically developed altered the gene of a twin that
Yeah.
originally inherited HIV.
Okay.
The scientists
Obviously, they did not publish.
they didn't publish.
Yeah.
He's currently being suspended, and
Yeah.
I think this year he goes to a conference explaining about his research, but still the public would not accept.
No, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
So you're saying that gene editing, the main purpose is for gene therapy, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the applications of it. Yeah.
So what is your view if gene editing on human embryos are performed to select desirable traits? For example, blue eyes, high IQ. So yeah, what is your view if it is allowed in Malaysia?
If it is allowed in Malaysia, obviously once something is allowed in a country, obviously it has gone through the specific law enforcements. It has gone through the specific law and ethical and biological kind of like rules. Basically, there are some certain rules like law. You have these certain rules, and when it comes to biological kind of like research on biological matter, you have these rules. Basically, ethics are all of these. They have their own ethics. So if it has been, it's already okay. It's okay. The Malaysian government actually said it's okay for them to actually do gene editing to actually select desirable traits. Then I trust that gene editing has gone through the very stringent and strict processes to actually obtain a license to actually do something like that. And okay, so if that is the case, Malaysian government already thinks that the ethics, I mean, they're fine. It's with their moral compass, it's totally fine for them to do that. So if a parent wants to actually do that, if the law says it's okay, then actually it's okay. But for my personal opinion, I think, because I mean, this is not to do with science or anything, but I think kind of like nowadays, people are so searching for kind of like perfection.
Yeah, true.
Too much, to the point in which they want to look all similar. Let's say if you see like some girls, they wear makeup the same way, they dress the same way because they want to look a certain way, because that certain way is pretty. Compared is what society defines as being pretty, right? So if let's say the parents actually want to actually just kind of like gene edit their kids so that they have like, instead of having droopy eyes, they want to have really like almond-shaped eyes. Instead of having like a big nose, they want to have a really thin nose, something like that. Like very cosmetic. I think in the future, I just don't think it's like the priorities are not correct for me. I don't think.
But it is possible.
Yes.
It is possible to be done by the parents.
It is possible. If the Malaysian government actually said it's okay, then it is possible. Obviously very expensive, but I think in the parents' mind, they have many other things they should concentrate on compared to. I just think it's quite a sad state if, let's say, the parents want to actually do that. We're talking about cosmetic changes like the nose or height or something like that.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Aini Sofiyya, and today I will be interviewing a lovely guest named Dr. Mohanum Jalil for my English course Advanced Communication Skills GLT 1014. Alright, so Dr. Mohanum, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate your presence. Okay, today we will be discussing about the topic, should gene editing be performed on human embryos? So as a start, can you share with me what is the definition in simpler words about gene editing?
Okay, Thank you, Aina.
Aini.
Aini, thank you, Aini. Okay. Alright. As far as I'm concerned, gene editing is something you you alter the gene, whether it is to put in foreign gene to enhance character, for example. So whether it is okay or not to implement to embryo to human embryo, I think we need to look at why. What's the reason? And we wanted to develop or produce such a technique on the embryo.
So if gene editing being performed on human embryos, is it going to follow the same procedure or will it be different from? Because I know that your field is about plants, right?
Yeah.
So humans and plants are different. So if gene editing is being performed on plants, it is acceptable. So
Yes.
on humans, what are your opinion?
You must take into account, especially on the religious aspect. Anything that related to human, we need to know why are you doing the gene editing. Probably if there is a medical need, yeah, I think we can support the gene editing. Otherwise, if it is just for, it has maybe it has pro and cons, I think, and somehow for medical view, for example, for if the embryo is detected with this terminal disease or something like that, and you want to alter the gene, it is okay, but just for fun and something like that, it is not recommended.
So you're saying that gene editing on human embryos are allowed only for medical purposes?
Yes.
For example, let's say the parents want to alter the genes of their children to have blue eyes or have high IQs. So do you agree with this action if it is allowed in Malaysia?
We want everything to be perfect, and if people will go beyond that.
One person should know about the importance of gene editing, because many people ignore this topic, but the topic is actually quite controversial and important. So what is your message to them?
Okay, I think we as a scientist, we need to educate the community what is all this gene editing is all about. And similarly to plant, if they heard about the GMO, all that they all thought of the negative thing, but actually current practice, for example, if you use the herbicide and so on, it will also affect health, your health in long term, in long term. So and actually when you use this like kind of plant with GMO, is actually is much more safe than the normal practice. But community do not know actually about the GMO, and I think they're just afraid that we use like animal gene to be inserted into the plant and so on. But actually for plant, we use like for banana, we use gene from wild banana, from similar species. So there's no, scientists will not use animal gene to be inserted into plant actually. So the awareness is not there. I think if you want to implement this gene editing, the community should be educated first. Editing for medical purposes, not for
Cosmetic.
cosmetic. Yes.
So before I end this interview, would you have anything that you would like to add regarding this topic? And what is your, let's say, your final stand?
Okay, for me, this is a bright future prospect for our medical field, especially to treat could be cancer, heart disease, and so on. And more research need to be done, and also awareness to the community also need to be done. And for me, I support this gene editing for medical purpose.
So with that, I end this interview. Thank you, Dr. Mahana, for being here today.
You're welcome.
So yeah, with that being said, thank you. That's all from me.
3.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Aini Sofiyya, and today I will be interviewing a lovely guest named Miss Amirah binti Baharin for my English course, which code GLT 1014, English Communication Advanced Communication Skills. So alright, so Miss Amirah, thank you for being here today. I'm very glad for your presence. Actually, Miss Amirah is one of my lab demonstrators back during my studies at Center for Foundation Studies in University of Malaya. So yeah, that's how we meet, and we managed to keep in touch until now. So you are here today to share about your views on my research project, which is entitled "Should Gene Editing Be Performed on Human Embryos?" So as a start, can you explain what is gene editing technique based on your understanding? Please.
Sorry. Sorry
Tak apa.
Sebab awak tak suruh pula terangkan gene editing tu apa. So saya tak prepare.
Tapi boleh je kalau macam simple je lah.
Okay, simple. So saya tak prepare. So okay, for my base of knowledge for gene editing is about edit a gene in part of protein of protein DNA to produce a better result of
So you're saying that gene editing is basically copying a DNA and pasting to another section?
Yes, that one I've been reading about gene editing, but then if you say that it is to improve the genetic in human life, I think it is.
Yes, I see. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Do you agree that based on my topic, which is gene editing should be performed on human embryos, do you agree and why?
Okay, I think I agree for gene editing in human embryo for certain condition. For example, to improve, to prevent the genetic diseases and to improve the health of the child. And we know that the method is safe for embryo. That one is I agree with gene editing. Unless if it is not proven that it is safe, I don't think I agree with this method.
But don't you think that based on my reading, many people actually condemn this technique?
Yes,
And they say that this technique shouldn't be allowed at all.
Yes, many countries have banned this gene editing. And I think Malaysia also will not allow this kind of method. But it is good if it can prevent genetic diseases from inherit to next generation. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree with you. So okay, let me moving on to my next question. I will give you a situation.
Okay.
What is your view about parents who want to prevent their children from being born with serious genetic condition? For example, like thalassemia or mitochondrial-related disease. So, do you think that this technique should be implemented on all babies that suffer with that condition, or there are other alternatives?
strict regulation and also ethical guidelines must be followed before we proceed with this technique.
So, but some people say that if we in Islam, if we do this technique, it will seem to us
Change.
playing God.
Yes, but then if it like that, then we don't have to treat the cancer or any. Don't you think so? Which the cancer also from the God gift. So God always said that we must prevent. We must first cure our health first. Health is the first thing we must have. So instead of others, so the baby can have a perfect, a better life. So instead of having this disable or genetic diseases that the child can get after life, so gene editing can be good for a womb to have a healthy life after birth instead of just it is just a God gift.
As long we can prevent that disease, we will continue to prevent it.
Yes, yes. We can have chances. They have chances to cure the disease. Why not we agree with that?
Alright. So this is my last question. What are the final words regarding today's topic? Are you, in your personal view, are you go for it or do you strongly against it?
Like I said before, I am strongly approve if it is safe. It is proven safe for the embryo, and it is only for medical purposes, not for any kind of change the genius or for the designer babies. Not. It is just only for medical purposes, for the health of the child in the womb.
Oh, I see. So before we end this interview, is there anything that you would like to add regarding this topic?
I think Malaysia should not encourage, might provide this type of technique. If it is proven outside and medically proven from the scientists, and it is safe for embryo to have a healthy lifestyle after it is being born. So I think our government should spend some money to provide to these kind of people that not have enough money to do this technique. Not only for rich people to have a healthy baby, also for everyone.
I agree with you. So there are no right or wrong to that question, because since the scientists from all around the world are currently arguing to prove their own personal opinion. So with that, I end this interview with a thank you to Ms. Samira for spending your time today. I hope we will meet again, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, thank you.